Greetings everyone, it's me, that ghost, and welcome to the fourth Reviewing Real Vampire Websites livestream. And before we begin, I want to start off by saying a few things. The first is a celebration, because a few nights ago I wanted to make a video about my hat, and I had no idea how to do it, because if I had on these lights, it would be too dark, and if I had on my big light, it would be backlit, whatever. You can see right now I have my rainbow lights on, but I'm not backlit. I got a ring light. So, yeah, I'm already trying to improve the production quality of my videos, and I have a ring light, so now I can record at night and make more bearable to watch footage. I'm really hyped. This summer, I plan to continue increasing production quality with money I get from, um, being a lifeguard. Yeah. The second thing I want to address is not a celebration. It's after I did my streams earlier today, I realized that the link to Discord in my description was a link that granted temporary membership, which means anyone who joined from that link probably got kicked out because a lot of people join and then they decide they'll assign a role later, and then it kicks them out, and then they're not in the server, so they can't come back and assign a role. So I changed the link in the previous videos, and the link in this video is now updated so that once you join the server, you're in. Don't worry about it. I still have it set up so that in my Discord server, in order to send messages and interact with others, you need to assign yourself a role, which can be done in the roles server, not server, in the roles channel, and that it's just to prevent people from like trying to spam the server, because there are bots where you can put like an invite tag to a server in, and that bot will then spam obscene messages in a server, other stuff like that. People do it all the time to revenge on people just because they're mean people. But those bots tend not to work if they need to have a role to do that, because a lot of those bots haven't been programmed yet to react with a role to a message and then head in and start spamming. So basically, it's really just for safety and for keeping it a safe place for people to share ideas and vibe. So I know it's a little bit inconvenient, but just go into the server, give yourself a role, and boom, you should be able to message. I'm really sorry about the bad link from earlier. Let me check OBS. That's green. Okay, I don't know why it was saying I don't know why it was saying no data. Anyway, we're heading back into By Light Unseen, which is the last thing we're looking at. And I think I'm gonna up the brightness of this one more. Um yeah, I feel like I look a little bit better that way. Or maybe it's too bright. I think I'll take it down actually. But anyway, last year we were looking at the mission and purpose of By Light. No, this is where you start off on it, and they say it's a. We already covered this one. So I think we are over here at Real Vampires in the Vampire Community, and we had just read this. So vampire identified people, and we were gonna look at true vampires, and my family wanted to talk to me. Hmm. So here they're referring to true vampires as separate from sanguinarians, psi, and other groups, saying that, yeah, they're born into human bodies, but their souls are just very inhuman, and they have the ability to manipulate, transform, and influence life force. Oh, it's true. Well, not true, it's cool, sorry. Blood gives them a rush. To me, this sounds like the way other websites would describe sanguinarians, saying that they can have strong desire for blood and energy and have non-human souls and other stuff. Because in Awake and Drink, they were saying the whole reason vampires exist is because they're vampire souls being reincarnated into a human body. Okay, so they're saying true vampires are a variety of vampiric otherkin. So they have vampire souls in a human body, otherkin, which I discussed otherkin in one of my last streams. I consider myself to be part of the otherkin community, actually, which is cool. Um, someone's gonna like take that few seconds of me and put it in some sort of like dumb like Reddit cringe compilation. I don't care, because they're not human. They're free thinkers and independent from an early age, self-actualized. These are all very positive traits. Um, But I also feel like they kind of apply to everyone, sort of like astrology and horoscopes. So saying that most humans will never meet one, I don't know. I feel like maybe there is no distinction, and this is all my opinion. I'm not trying to insult this website. I'm just saying this based on what I've read on previous sites, based on everything I've learned today. I feel like true vampires and sanguinarians are probably pretty much the same thing. So let's see how this website defines sanguinarians, see how it's different. Um, Right, so they're claiming that sanguinarians are human beings with a need to consume blood, which for non-erotic reasons, which that's not what the other websites I've seen today call a sanguinarian. They call them vampires that must draw energy from blood. They're hostile towards spiritual explanations to their blood craving. I haven't seen any of that today, but I don't know who this person is arguing with. Um, Now they're saying that the sanguinarians they consider themselves the only real vampires, and they suffer physical illness without blood, a family history of sanguinarian with genetic basis. So bringing up androgenic retrovirus, they're bringing up genetics like the last site we saw, which didn't go into the virus, but it did claim it was genetic. They're going into a little bit of what Awaken Drink was saying with the whole, oh, we're the only real vampires. That's very interesting. Um, but they're saying that sanguinarians only consume tiny amounts at a time, which is not what. So yeah, it's just that donors. Okay, I think it's common sense to test blood donors for blood-borne disease. Like, I wouldn't go slurping on someone's blood if they might have HIV/AIDS, hepatitis C, which is uncurable. Anything else. I mean, also not to bring up the modern day, because I know this website was probably made not in the modern day. It was made probably at least like 4 years ago or something. With COVID-19, I know it can't really be passed through blood, right? It's like passed through nasal droplets, or I don't even know. I just with all the illness that's been in the world lately. I don't drink in someone's blood. Um, I'm not gonna read like all of this. They are claiming that all of these sites are websites that call themselves humans with a compulsion for blood, and yeah, they're saying that's at the end of the article. A lot of these sites mention vampires, so I don't know unless unless this website's trying to like discredit them by saying they're humans. These people, they are saying many define themselves as real vampires, but they also say describe themselves as humans. So once again, I'm a little bit confused, but most of my vampire adventure today, I've been very confused because it seems like there's a little bit of beef between all these websites. Like it seems like one website will say being vampire isn't from reincarnation and you can't eat yogurt. Another website will say being vampire isn't from a virus. And another website will say neither of these people are real vampires. They're humans with a condition. And I don't know. I feel like I'm like looking in at drama after the fact. Like I feel like I got on Twitter and like there's some big Twitter fight, and now I'm just reading other people reference it in the past. Because none of these websites are saying, go to this website, they're wrong, blah blah. But I feel like there probably was a debate between vampires who subscribe to different ideologies from these sites in the past, and that's why a lot of these sites have like subtle slights towards each other. Okay, I might be picking up on something that isn't there. Energy mediums, born to be conduits of power. Yeah, I don't really feel like we need to read this one as it's just about humans who are strong with energy. So, just like some people are born naturally great artists, other people are born naturally great witches and energy workers and other stuff. And just like how anyone can teach themselves art, anyone can also teach themselves to be a very strong energy worker, witch, whatever. So, no issue here. Let's look at self-defined psi-vamps and other energy feeders. Uh, Are there human beings who need to draw, absorb, or feed on energy in order to maintain their health and well-being? Yep, that so far works. Pranic energy. Yeah, I keep seeing this term along with other terms like chi, energy, aura. I'm wondering how interchangeable it really is. Emotional energy, magical energy, negative energy, astral energy, deep energy, soul energy, and atmospheric energy. Thunderstorm. Hey, I actually, when it rains outside, I feel very powerful, which I read there was some Tumblr post claiming that like the chemistry in your brain and the chemistry in the clouds makes you happy. So I'm not saying I'm a vampire. if that Tumblr post is correct, I'm just someone with a brain. But I get energy from storms. Again, calling them other humans, non-human living things. Yep, so far this all checks out. Yeah, this also is the whole. They've developed a separate community. That's also what they were saying on Awake and Drink. They were saying is that they have their own group, which yeah makes sense. Just like how sanguines don't understand what it's like to be a psi vampire, psi vampires don't know what it's like to be a sanguine. It makes sense that they'd split off and they'd have their own groups where they can all relate to each other and know what's going on. Hybrid vampires. I gotta click on this. It says bi vampire because I mean bi vampire kind of sounds like goals. Sorry, I'm just checking on the stream quality. Maybe they both need. um. Oh, they are comparing them to bisexuals. Yeah, okay, this is really sad that it's true. Like, in the LGBT community, a lot of people will want bi people to either pick a side or say, you're actually straight and in denial, you're actually gay and in denial, whatever. So, yeah, for hybrid vampires, I feel bad for them. Like, if the vampire community is treating them the way the LGBT community treats bi people, I feel really bad for hybrid vampires. And we have some hybrid vampire positivity in the chat, guys. I'm kidding. I don't think anyone's actually watching this live right now. But yeah, that makes me sad. I have a lot of friends who are bi. Actually, the largest category with informal polls and surveys, and that's really cool. If I was a vampire, I'd probably be a hybrid vampire because, like I've said before in these streams, that I do feel really good after eating rare and raw meat, after having animal blood, and I also do feel very powerful after doing meditation with a candle, with a plant, with the sun, intentionally trying to draw in energy. So I'm not saying I'm a vampire because I don't know. I don't feel comfortable making that claim because I don't want to be disrespectful to the real vampire community if I just show up, read a bunch of websites, and say yes, I am one of these people. But if I was a vampire, I would definitely be a hybrid vampire because I get energy from a lot of different places in life. Vampire lifestylers. Again, these aren't real vampires; they're just people who are having fun. Yep. Hey, I like this one right here. It's like that's what I've been saying on all the other websites. Someone can be a lifestyler and also be a vampire. So it's nice that this website's acknowledging it very well. This is all very interesting. Uh, like this last bit here, it's very interesting to me. They talk about how sanguinarism, which means blood drinking, started as like a social club, which metaphor, and then became sort of like a religious thing, like lifestyling, but with energy work and stuff. That's cool. They mentioned the Black Veil again, which I think I've already been to that website. Or oh no, this is on the site I said I wouldn't go over because it was posted on Awake and Drink, and on their like regulations for being a vampire, they were talking about how they didn't want like to be outed or to have vampires thrust into the open. So I'm not going to force their website into the open. I want to be nice. Vampire-like predators. Sounds sus. This is interesting. I guess this stuff is like you see those like true crime videos on YouTube where I'll be like vampire killer finally behind bars or something like that. I believe that's what this is referring to. They talk about criminals that like drink blood and commit cannibalism because they think they're a vampire. Yeah, and then this just sounds like they're describing MLMs. Okay, I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's probably their real goal for hidden secrets and turning. They probably want money, but yeah. Or cults. I'd say, yeah, a lot of this is MLMs and cults, and then serial killers. So it is very unfortunate. We do have to acknowledge the dark side of the vampire community, which is criminals who take advantage of the community to get away with stuff in it, which I'm going to bring up the bi thing again. There's also people in the LGBT community who commit crimes within the community and try to get away with it because of their status in the community. So, yeah, I guess if you're someone like me who's sort of new to researching the vampire community, new to stuff like that, look out for these people. I will. Let's read about Otherkin. I like Otherkin. Otherkin, aka words I can't pronounce, and then furries, which furries are not Otherkin. I have friends who are furries. They do not have the spirits of animals. They're just really good at art, and I'm jealous of them. Yeah, so it's saying up there, Otherkin are people who spiritually identify as other creatures. Oh, and they're bringing up aliens. Heck yeah, alien representation. In a stream earlier today, I said I'm Otherkin and I identify as an alien. So, nice. Again, I don't know why they're bringing up furries. Furries are not Otherkin. Like, do I need to get my friends who are furries like onto my live stream to have them explain this? I'm not shut up and let Star Dragons. Elenati. I don't know how to pronounce these words. One for the internet king community collapsed. Coalesced. I can't read. Wrote about people identifying as otherkin for Fireheart magazine. That's interesting. Yeah, I identify as otherkin. I'm not gonna read about like the community because just like how I skipped community history and other stuff, this is about the vampires as a creature or as if they're humans, just like as how they're different than other humans, and not about the community. Like, oh, let's side vamp revolution. I'm assuming this is what Awake and Drink was saying. Like, everything was okay until act. Let's look at blood fetishists. This is gonna. Please don't have any pictures. Okay, thank God. Yeah, I'm not gonna read any of this out loud, but this is exactly the description they're describing is exactly how I would have described it in my head. Like they're using the same words I would use. Okay, feeding. How is this inaccurate and misleading? Okay, so they need to feed on something. So this website's saying that feeding shouldn't is inaccurate. Modern vampire myth, which they can't consume ordinary food and must have a regular intake of blood. I don't think people believe that. I think vampires are out eating food. I watch vampires on YouTube eat McDonald's. Like if you search real vampire on YouTube, a lot of YouTubers, not just Logan South, like there's a lot of YouTubers, some of which are uploading videos as new as like 2021. Like you can see vampires right now. I watched this video of this vampire girl with like green hair go to McDonald's and eat McDonald's and discuss being a vampire. So that's vampires can eat food. I saw one do it. um, they're considering the blood need of fictional vampires to be like an addiction. The word feeding refers to a living organism. We don't feed our cars with gas or feed electrical items electricity. Yeah, but vampires are a living organism. Vampire must eat. So I guess they're saying because vampire humans, or just vampires, live off of food and water, and blood is like an additional thing that they need. It's different. That's I guess drinking blood's like sleeping then. Like if I eat food and drink water, I'll be healthy and fine. But I also need to sleep. I also need to I guess get sunlight, right? Because that's how you get certain vitamins and minerals. Basically, you need to do more than eat to live. So I don't feel like I personally agree with this section of the website. I have Bad Apple stuck in my head. I listened to it a bunch of times today. Turning and Awakening. So these have been Awakening's been defined differently on all three sites, but also the same. No, all three differently on all the sites, except also the same on all the sites. With Awake and Drink, I realized with the Wayback Machine, I was looking at articles from wildly different years, so I have a feeling when Awakening was defined two different ways on their site, they probably changed one of those definitions to match the other definition at one point in time. I wasn't paying attention at the top of the screen which one came first, which one came second. So least at some point, so at some point on the internet, all of the sites we visited today were at some consensus of like what awakening means. Which some of these sites claim turning is impossible because they believe it's of the soul or it's genetic, which is the one that said author and then awaken drink. And then our first site believes turning is possible because blood. Because it's a virus in the blood. So that's interesting. Being embraced. I haven't heard of that. I'm sorry, when I hear that, I just imagine someone hugging. Like a vampire hugs you, and you're a vampire. Okay. Oh, it's from role-playing games. Yeah, well, that explains it. The dark gift. The dark kiss. Bringing across. Blood Rising. Okay, Blood Rising sounds like a band name. Also, the dark gift does. Actually, all these do. All of these except for bringing across some. Okay. Yeah, so this website's acknowledging that people debate whether or not it's possible, and we've seen that today. We've seen that there's a good mix. Many people believe they were born that way. Some people believe that they physically changed. Yeah. Heck yeah. This is referenced on the first site. My thing is, what if in a way both are correct? Like, what if all the people out there who said like I was born this way, you can't become this. What if they were born vampires because their parents were vampires through the retrovirus, and their parents might not have known? Just like on the very first website that claimed it was a virus, their parents could have had this virus and been unaware that they had the virus. They have a kid who's a vampire, and that kid doesn't know, and then that kid awakens and finds out they're a vampire, and they think, well, because I felt this way my whole life, that means you're just born that way. So what like it could be a virus, or it could be something you can become, even if it isn't a virus. If it's through spirituality, it could be something you become. But a lot of people start out with it anyway, so they wouldn't know that you can become it. 'Cause from their point of view, they never became that way; they just were that way. I'm probably explaining it poorly, but I'm just trying to say is like it both could be correct. You can't. It could be possible for someone to be born a vampire, and also if someone else turn into a vampire, and they're both vampires. Which this is going by stuff established on the first website we were on. If I hadn't seen that website first, I might be arguing with that website, saying, like, you can't turn into a vampire. All these other websites I read said something else. But, who knows? I'm just sharing my own feelings. And again, if you're a real vampire, if you're a black swan, if you're a slayer, if you're part of the community, feel free to join my Discord and discuss it with me in the link to my Discord is now fixed. If you want to discuss stuff with me, you have to assign yourself a color role, which there's a whole channel for that. It's easy, just do it. um, so a sudden development of awareness of vampiric symptoms is called an awakening. It can be a spontaneous, and it can be sharing blood with another person. So I guess awakening can be confused for turning. If you share blood with someone and then you awaken, you might think you were turned, when in reality that was just the missing piece. Literally turned, triggered awakening. Okay, so they're saying, yeah, they're literally acknowledging what I just said, is that someone could confuse turning for awakening and vice versa. Only a minority of vampires believe that someone can be turned. See, I'd like to believe someone can be, because otherwise, why do we have so many myths about people being turned? Like, I guess all those myths could be about people who awakened, and it's from an outsider perspective, so people wouldn't know. Separate issue. The thing that most people who are publicly identified as a vampire have people request them to be turned. So I bet that gets annoying. If I was a real vampire and someone wanted me to turn them, I wouldn't want to do it because their blood might have diseases in it. But if they got their blood checked and they gave me money, I would turn people. Like, I know it sounds bad, but like, I mean, obviously not all in one day, because I'd lose way too much blood giving everyone, a ration of a fourth teaspoon each, like the first website said. But, like, if you could make money off of literally just, like, getting rid of a little bit of blood, I'd do it. That's my inner college student speaking. I'm already thinking like a college. I know a lot of college students, they, like, sell their plasma and, like, sell their platelets. That college student voice already in my head is like, hey, Ghost, you gotta sell your blood while it's still fresh. Oh no. That's probably a college student stereotype. It's like in the modern day. Like maybe it's not even a stereotype. It's just something I think of when I think of college students. But yeah, like, back in the day, I don't think there were any jokes about like young adults selling blood. Where now, like I meme about it, and like a few people at my church meme about it. Uh, uh. They said serious danger comes from people who respond to the turn requests because they're often have negative plans in mind, both sexually or money or whatever. See, when I said I'd sell my blood, I didn't mean like MLM, like give me $500 and I'll turn you. I just meant like if someone gave me $10, I'd give them a little bit of my blood. Which, I mean, that kind of makes it sound even more sus. Then right, YouTube, please don't terminate my channel because I said this for legal reasons. This is all a joke. I'm just thinking out loud. Vampire community, I'm not gonna bother because we already know about the community. It's a group of people. Okay, here's another. Do you think you're a vampire thing? Let's go through and see if I'm a vampire again. Um, well, they said the odds I'm a vampire are really small. Okay, so I'm probably not. Yeah, so they say a lot of young people join the community and then realize it's not correct for them and leave. And there's nothing wrong with self-discovery. Said a lot, others said they didn't have it quite right, and they're really witches or other kin or artists. I feel like artists is a weird thing to throw in, but yeah, like because I do witchcraft and because I'm otherkin and because other stuff, maybe the reason why I answered yes to so many things on the other vampire websites is just because I'm part of communities that have a bit of an overlap with the vampire community. But I think there's nothing wrong with self exploration and trying out different labels until you eventually find what your real label is. Yeah, I like this statement a lot. I really like, not just for vampires, I think this statement right here applies to a lot of things, including like gender and sexuality. It's cool. They're just describing how strong different symptoms would be if you're really a vampire. Here's the thing, I am adult over 18. Well, I say am 18. 18 isn't over 18, it's equal to 18. So when I'm 19, that means I should go check this out. I should, when I'm 19, I should go drink some blood and see how that makes me feel. I'm half joking, but half not. I mean, like, I wouldn't do it now because there's a pandemic, but like, in the future, when I'm in college, right now I live in a really fun, like, liberal college town, and I'm moving to another really fun liberal college town. When I go off to college, if there's like a really strong vampire community where I move, um, I might try to get involved with it and see if it's right for me. Because after all the reading I've done today, I'd be really interested in, even if I'm not a vampire, just doing more research. Maybe by the definition of the first website for Slayer, not the definitions later ones, I could do that. I could use my energy working skills and my love of vampires to help protect people. Um, or I guess I wouldn't call myself a black swan 'cause they have to donate blood, right? Already all the terms are getting confused in my head because I'm trying to teach myself all of this in one day. But I think there's a place for me in the vampire community, even if I'm not a vampire. So that'd be cool. Um, looks like the Psyvamp thing is complicated, which I don't consider myself to. I don't think I'm one at all. I'm either like I said earlier. I think I'm hybrid. If I am one in the first place, find information. Energy medium. Okay. So basically, this website's the only place where you can learn about people who have naturally really strong energy, and that's people just be that way. Um. So also don't according to this website, in order to be a true vampire, you would just know it the same way an other kin knows that they're not a human. So that's yeah, it's interesting. Well, what else is there here? I think right. Take me home. No, okay. So we already looked at vampire folklore and science, right? Yeah. Vampire media and stuff. Vampire gamers. What's going on? Oh, role playing game. I thought it was going to be like, these Twitch streamers are real vampires. Did you know Ninja, that dude who plays Fortnite that I learned about a few nights ago from my friend Dr. A? Did you know Ninja is actually a vampire? Watch me get like sued for slander after calling Ninja a vampire. I'm probably not going to read about the vampire folklore. Yeah, because I want to learn about real vampires. I want to learn about this. What's this? It's coming soon. Okay. Pardon my yawn. It's like 9 p.m. or something. Uh-oh. The website's doing things. This is like a blog and like a book review. This is interesting, but I don't have the time to read all this. Oh, wow, they're talking about, I guess this is just talking about different parts of vampire fiction, like Dark Shadows. I like that movie. It's funny. It's really confusing because they try to take an entire, it's not telenovela. What's it? They try to take an entire soap opera and put it into one movie, but it's funny. Oh, this looks interesting. Fiction, nonfiction. I might use this to look at some books later, but not right now. Because right now I'm just gonna keep doing the stream. So our next website is called Vampire Church, which there really isn't much here on the front page. How did I get here? Should I vote here? Search engine for the form from a website link. Or a website link, actually. Oh, why did clicking on from a website link bring me to a different thing? Okay. So they say, what is life force energy? We already kind of know about that. It's the energy that's in all living things. I personally, in my own spiritual practice, believe it comes from the. Then it enters the plants and enters the ground through the plant roots and enters the crystals in the ground and enters the animals through the plants. You know, vampire community. We already heard about that. Health and life force energy. Isn't it the same as this? And grounding and centering. Yeah, that's a cool meditative practice that I would recommend people do. I do it. Alright, so they have articles on all these. Let's look at what their other articles are. Welcome to Vampire. Oh, these actually sound interesting. Let's read some of the more like basic ones first, though. General bio. Oh wow, there's a lot of these. Deconstructing the vampire myth. I think we've done enough myth deconstructing today because we've read a million websites all that say the same thing. No, we don't turn into dust. No, we don't fly. No, we don't turn into bats. Ow. Let's look at this first. Life force of all things around you. Yep, it's from the sun, in my opinion. Chi or prana, people keep using those terms. Everyone needs it for wellness, although not everyone can produce enough of it. Oh, so this is this part of the leaky aura theory? Wind, lightning, and thunder. Yeah, I get it from like the wind and from rain. Through that spelling of through, that's how I spell through. Alright. So they're claiming that people who are energy feeders are vampires. Or bioenergy vampires. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I clicked on that. I don't know why. Defining a true vampire. Vampire is an energy feeder with varying levels of psychic and empathetic ability, which allow for manipulation and taking and giving of life force energy. In my opinion, anyone can take and give life force energy, okay? There's a significant interest in energy feeding and a love for energy of blood. Energy of blood was debated on Awake and Drink. We have gone through this world hated, feared, and misunderstood. The spell. Oh, that's good. So the fact that I'm like sharing this website now, people on YouTube can come here and be re-educated on what this website considers a real vampire to be and come to understand and stop hating them. Also, rip Adobe Flash. I miss Adobe Flash. Bring it back. I know people aren't going to. I want them to. Change makes me sad. How can I tell if I'm a real vampire? It's time for this one again. Oh, they answer the questions that you cannot. There's no test, therefore you can never be positive. That's the core of your health issue. Okay, wait, here's my thing. let's say I'm a real vampire. If I started doing an energy like stealing from people every day, or I started drinking blood every day, would my heart problems like go away? Would my limp go away? Would my stomach problems that have always been called different things by different doctors? A lot of my health issues doctors just can't diagnose. Like with my stomach and with my heart. Different doctors claim it's different things. If I was a vampire, like let's say I'm a hybrid vampire, because the last site made me think about that. If I started taking in energy and blood, would I feel better? That's just an interesting thing to think about. Oh, hey, sorry. They're referencing vampirism as a religion, which we saw that in a different video, which is nice. I can't tell what this says or what that says. I can't read that. I just see the word vampire in the center. Bottom line, before you assume you're affected, do your homework on yourself to rule out any easily treatable malady. If I could get treatment for my issues, I would have treated them 18 years ago. I'm joking, because I was born 18 years ago. But yeah, based on this, how to tell if you're a real vampire, basically the fact that I've suffered from mysterious chronic illness my entire life means that I might be one. The only test would be if I start doing vampire stuff and my chronic illness goes away, then I likely am a vampire. And if it doesn't go away, then I'm not. Maybe I should get into vampirism. Mr. Aaron. Origins of folklore, we don't need that. Psychological disorders, they actually touched on that on the first website, which I didn't go through all of it, because if I did, I'd go through a million pages. Back in middle school, I read a lot of psychological ones, but basically, if you have like depression, anxiety, autism, OCD, actually, I don't think any of them mention autism. But they mention like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, OCD, a lot of stuff like that. They're like, oh, if you have this, it might trick you into thinking you're a vampire. Also, some chronic illnesses that have lethargy as a symptom, people think they're a vampire because, like I was just saying, like, oh, well, if I feed from enough people, my lethargy will go away. So we can skip that one. Basically, just never assume vampirism if mental illness you have already explains your symptoms. Real vampires. Oh, they don't like, no one is a real vampire. No one only lives in human blood. Well, that by you saying this, that means that you think a real vampire only lives on human blood and lives to be 400 years old and has fangs. So there are real vampires, they just aren't these things. I talk about how it's a human energy condition. Yeah, all these pages kind of say the same thing. They say you need energy, so you get it from other people. I'm just gonna sum it all up. Real vampires, real vampirism. It's just gonna say the same thing. There's a lot of confusion what defines a real vampire. The vampire community fights people in this, Vampirism is a real physical condition related to bioenergy need. Yep, they're going to say the same thing. The keywords of vampire need are need and physical. I say, if the affected person cannot produce enough bioenergy, they have real symptoms and problems. And these are, I've had a lot of this stuff happen. It's just a statement. Most of the physical symptoms disappear. Okay, I gotta try vampirism and see if my heart gets better. It's just on the lower bite. Yeah, when I was born with stomach issues. And I'm not trying to force myself into the vampire community. Say every time I say, "Oh, this fits me," or "Oh," I don't mean to shake that. Every time I'm saying like, "Hey, that's like me," or "Hey, I feel that." I'm not saying I'm a vampire. I'm just sharing like, "Oh, I think that's cool that I can understand what they're talking about in this article because I have personal experience with it." Um, so must have also been diagnosed with other stuff. Okay, that's cool. They say the full effects are not fully present until puberty or later, which I think it's neat that I discovered a lot of websites like this when I was going through puberty. Like, when I was a little kid, I was like, wow, I love vampires. And when I was going through puberty, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read all the websites. And so these are groups that have decided that they're real vampires that this person disagrees with. Um, so there's goth people, um, trauma victims. Arguably, I'm both of these two. I'm definitely a trauma victim. I don't know if people would call me goth. spiritual vampirism, which this yeah, clans and houses. This is what the religion website I was looking at was talking about. It's interesting. Yeah, humans are genetically wired to seek out a spiritual connection. I feel like that's why a lot of religions exist in the world, is because a lot of people have this genetic drive believing there's something bigger than them out there in the world. That's why they feel drawn to religions. Understanding vampirism, life path, and knowledge. This is just gonna be the same thing. It's oh, you need your energy to live. Um, vampire fiction, friend or foe. I love vampire fictions. Let's look at this one. Um, human monster. Real vampirism is one set of ethical problems. Education, information, the key to understanding. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm sharing a lot of these websites. Link in the description. I'm overviewing them myself. You're sharing them with everyone. This is neat. I think it's really interesting to learn about the vampire community. I think this is fun. I personally would. This is my own outsider, non-vampire opinion. I think vampire fiction is probably more helpful than harmful, but vampires are. And two, if you're reading the right not fan fiction, if you're reading the right fiction, you'll probably learn a lot. Like if you read House of Night, which I love, not only do you learn about vampirism, but you learn about you learn about Wicca, and you learn a bit about like different some versions of paganism, and that's really cool. When you enter the basically, if you read House of Night, you will learn how to cast a circle. You will learn how to do some other stuff. You'll learn about how different moon phases are significant, and that stuff transfers really easily from magical path to magical path because it's fairly consistent throughout all these different groups. So I feel like if someone's reading the right vampire fiction, they could enter the real vampire community with realistic expectations and be knowledgeable about varied cultures. Now, of course, if you're reading trash vampire fiction, like insert random knockoff version of Twilight that was made as a cash grab because Twilight was popular, yeah, well, that's not helpful. But I'd say some vampire fiction is probably like really good for the community. I say as an outsider, for all I know, a real vampire is going to go in the comments and say, actually, the House of Night book series is the most stigmatizing and lying fiction that's ever been written. It's done, yeah, irreparable damage to our community. I don't know. Comment down below. Do you like the House of Night series? I think it's great. Vampirism 101. Sounds like a fun college class. Types of feeding. I've already looked. Oh, they're separating psychic and pranic. That's neat. So psychic is ambient energy, and pranic is like, oh, this is like direct contact. So that would be like, I guess what I was describing. Elemental, other stuff I describe, like when I go stand in a storm or hang out with the trees and stuff. Empathetic, they feed from emotion, so it's cool. Negative, feed off of negative energies. Um, sounds like a lot of YouTube drama people might be negative vampires. Eclectic, they feed from anything. That sounds like a more fun version of hybrid. Adaptive are vampires that feed one way and then develop other ways to make up for what they can't get. That's cool. They all feed. Misconceptions. Yeah, we already know about all this. We learned about what vampires are from all the other websites. Vampirism basics. Oh, these are just like defining words that we've already seen. Vampirism. All these articles are kind of the same. I'd say this website, Vampire Church, is probably the least interesting website I've been on so far in this adventure. Yeah, again, they've already saying vampires aren't a parasite. They've said that earlier on this site. In my opinion, can't they be? Like, if you're drawing energy off of people and you're a negativity vampire and you're causing drama just to feed off of them, you are a parasite. So I'm not saying all vampires are parasites. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is it sounds like vampires can be parasites. So making a blanket statement, vampires aren't parasites, then no. So we've already read two articles on real vampires. They're bringing it up again. They're bringing up this again, even though I already read it. Real vampire. Like, let's just see what kind of vampire I am. Yeah, okay, so this isn't useful. One, all this writing is broken, and two, they're basically saying, oh well, you during your lifetime you changed. So what you believe now, you might not believe in the future. Which, yeah, labels change, and it's important to acknowledge that. But that article was kind of useless. Um, Vampire safety and shielding. It's an alternative to shielding. Oh, this is like a little personal ritual you can do, just like grounding and clearing. Oh, this is something you can do. Color shielding. You visualize a color going around you. I do that a lot. I imagine white, gray, or purple light forming a like capsule, like a pill capsule around me, and those colors are really important to me. You can see white, black, gray, and purple are part of my hagstone, which is a protection amulet. Gray for energy and the moon, white for purity and protection, black for warding and protection and strength, and purple for psychic and magic energy. So, yeah, this rock that's around my neck in like so many videos, I use the colors on this cord often, and so yeah, I guess I do shielding. I just never called it that. I just called it like I didn't even have a word. I would just like, time to project an orb around myself. That's cool. Grounding and centering, I do that. Health problems, sensitive to light. Yep, very emotional. All those are me. They're migraines. Pardon. They talk about migraines, which again I feel that. Um, Traveling vampires. Vampirism for the fledgling. Fledgling is a term that they use in House of Night. I'm clicking on that. Shielding. Improving your energy usage. You can't buy any house without having it totally isolated. Stop energy leaking from you some of the time. That's cool. So you can like bottle up your energy. I like that. That's what shielding is. It's when you bottle up. So I guess my pill capsule analogy is good because the capsule for the pill is not to keep stuff out of the pill. It's to keep the medication in the capsule in. When I'm in the capsule, it's keeping my energy in. So yeah, I like that. That explains shielding. I wouldn't call it vampirism for the fledgling. I'd call it shielding. Shielding. A lot of the articles on this site, I feel like if they condensed all the articles on one topic, like all the shielding ones into one article, that'd be great. And if they deleted duplicate information, that would be great. Like this website's a little bit annoying. Let's look at vacation survival guide. Vacation. Forced away from home. Soothing, which sounds. Well, it just sounds like me dealing with my sensory overload. You gotta have your soundproof earbuds. You gotta have something to stim with. Block the sun. Yeah, that's why I wear today. Sunglasses. Yeah, same. Pardon? Breaks. Yeah, well, everyone needs time away from others. And sun cream, also known as sunblock. Yeah. That just sounds like how to be mentally stable during a vacation. That's not even for vampires, it's for people. So I believe that was vampire safety and shielding. Let's look at health. Let's do the same stuff. Safe blood health. We already know what that is. Test the blood. Sunlight. Don't go in the sun. I'm a little bit joking, but yeah, like test blood for HIV, test blood for hepatitis, sunlight. Never go into the sunlight without sunblock. Getting a really bad sunburn actually doubles your chance of getting skin cancer. All it takes is like one bad sunburn to double your chances. So always wear sunblock when you go outside. Um, Always stay hydrated when you're in the sun because the sun makes you sweat. I'm not even reading the article. I'm just sharing what I know. Just when you're in the sun, stay safe. Vampire, human, otherkin, like anything. The sun is a deadly laser. I'm joking there, but like for real, I strongly dislike the sun. Let's look at vampirism health. Well, lethargy and mental weakness. Alright, disposing energy. There's just more stuff about energy. I'm not trying to diss the energy. I get that's very important. But this website seems to be almost all about not vampire, all about energy work, and not really about like what a real vampire is. Which this website pretty much said that they. Oh, this sounds like it might be controversial. Let's read this one. Sanguine vampirism and its problems. As it's so rare, it's difficult for a vampire to find a willing donor. Yeah, that makes sense. Just drink animal blood then. Yeah, since you have to make sure that the blood quality is good. Well, you have to make sure the quality of anything's good. Like when you eat food, when you go buy vegetables from the grocery store, you make sure there's no mold. You check the eggs in the grocery store to make sure they're not cracked before you buy them. Like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like a problem. It just seems like living as a healthy and functional person. This is just going to be more energy stuff. I know it will be. Yeah, so they're talking about how they don't put their mouth or other non-sterile items onto the wound, and they're talking about you get the energy from the blood, from the relationship, which I don't know. I liked the first website's theory better that you need red blood cells because if it's about energy and blood, like the second website, Awake and Drink, talking about how they drink animal blood, along with the first website, vampirewebsite.net, saying that they used animal blood. You don't have an emotional connection with the animals. You're not getting psychic energy. You're getting blood energy. I guess it's life energy from the animal in the blood, but still, I feel like this website is saying all vampirism is energy vampirism because all the articles so far have said that. Like they're saying that sanguine vampirism, chronic blood vampirism, is a form of energy vampirism and it's problematic. It's hard to do, so you should just get energy other ways. Which I don't know if I personally agree with that. I'm probably gonna move on to another website just because this website is really boring to me. I'm not doing this to go through every website meticulously. I'm doing it to have fun. And I'm choosing to live stream it. And all these articles are the same. They literally all just this is what energy is, and this is how someone can use energy. Blah blah blah. This is what energy is, and this is how someone can use energy. Some people lose energy, so they need more. That's what all this is. Alright, so this one was another one. This was sent to me as a link, and obviously it's an old link because I'm using way back. And here, this is all very interesting stuff. I'm definitely gonna like review this stuff in the future. But their vampire legend and folklore is just about specific vampires. It's not about the whole community. Definitely, all of these things. If I ever do an episode on ghosts, I'll do this. If I do an episode on witches, which I probably will, I'll do this. I plan on covering everything. Like, I'm probably gonna do werewolves next, just because on YouTube it says my stream quality is poor. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Just because Jack Smith was saying I should do werewolves next, I probably will. But after that, aliens, ghosts, witches, just the otherkin community as a whole. You guys suggest what I should discuss, and when I decide what I'm going to discuss, feel free to go into my YouTube comments and send like links to websites that discuss that, or links to blogs of people who discuss that, or in my Discord channel and the like occult discussion channel. Um, Send me links and discuss blogs, stuff like that, because I'd love to make more content exploring the strange and paranormal and weird and like supernatural. I'm planning on making a playlist of my live streams where I explore all this. So no, I'm not going to look at this site today just because it's not really what I'm interested in. But in the future, definitely, because this is exactly what I want to make this YouTube series that I started today. My new YouTube series where I says that there's no data. Uh um it's green here though. I don't think it's oh nope, now it's orange, now it's red. I don't like that. Go green. I don't know what to do. Oh, it's green again. It's a good sign, right? So anyway, this website's exactly what I'm going to base the series I spontaneously decided to do last night and then put off to today because I felt really sick last night. That series, that's exactly what I want to do, is in this website. So in the future, I'm probably going to go over this. But as for now, let's look at our last site of the night before I end the vampire live stream. So this isn't really a website, it's a Facebook group. I wanted to see what are real vampires discussing? How are they vibing with society? What do they do with each other? So I found this random Facebook group and they talk about just what it means to their community. They they host goth events. They post funny memes. Here's an event. Uh, they do magical market stuff, which that makes sense. I was discussing how there's a lot of overlap between witches and vampires. Here's a meme. I really like that one. I think this is hilarious. I agree with that little face right there. Haha, I like that. Yeah, this is me. I have a trans flag like somewhere over there. Um, Here's a reference to that TV show I like, What We Do in the Shadows. And there's more witchcraft stuff, more witchcraft stuff. But yeah, it just seems really cool. Speaking of witchcraft, in my most recent stream, I was asked about good witchcraft books, and I was like, "Oh, I actually have one, and I can't find it." And I found it between that stream and this stream. So, this is the book by Orly Stewart that I said I really liked. This is, like I was saying, the Become a Living God books. The ones about specific deities I don't think are worth it personally, but the ones that are about an entire practice that give you like a beginner's overview, this one's really good. And I own it. You can see that I've I don't know how to flip a book page so the camera can see it, but like I've like highlighted things, well underlined things, I guess. Um, a lot of the drawings are helpful. So when someone's describing an image to me, like, you're gonna want to write this name in the four corners. I don't know if you mean, like, do I write the name in the four corners, or do you write a few of the letters, a few of the letters, a few of the letters, a few of the letters? So this book has a lot of pictures that clear things up after they describe it, which I really value that, because it's hard for me to understand some stuff. They walk you through various different rituals, and they explain, you can use any ritual to summon a demon, any ritual to banish a demon that you see fit, but here are ones that we like, and they give more than one option for each. Um, they share some chants and stuff in the back too. Oh, okay, we have good stream quality now. It's great. But basically, I think this book is a really nice book for beginners. Um, like there's a lot of illustrations that show you different symbols that they tell you to draw and different words spelled out that they want you. Well, I guess when you're reading, you know how to spell a word. Um, but I don't know. I personally get a lot of use out of this book and got a lot of use out of this book. So if you're someone who comes into my videos or streams and is like, what's a witchcraft book you recommend I get? This one, and I got it on Amazon for like, I think it was like $14, $15, which is kind of expensive for a thin book, but I like it. Oh, another cool thing about the photos that they show you, it's during some of the invoking stuff they discuss, they tell you to take different poses, and they have drawings of those poses. Let me try to find it. Yeah, here are some poses, which I actually, in my Book of Shadows, which I'm not going to bring out right now, I drew different poses for invoking different elements. So, yeah, these people's drawings are way better than my drawings. I'm going to put this back, and with all this being said, I'm probably going to end the stream now, because I went through all the websites that I felt like going through. Um, I might reflect on what I've learned today. Let me plug in my earbuds real quick so I can hear stuff. But I feel like I'm like Sailor Moon or something, Like at the end of all the Sailor Moon episodes, she's like, today I learned to be myself and be a trustworthy person, uphold my promises to my friends, and much more. You know, she talks about some like moral things. So it's like, what did I learn today? Today I learned that I might be a vampire. I also might not be. Some websites said it's very unlikely that I am one, and other websites say that, oh, because I have so many of those signs, I might be one, but it's unknown. Some websites say that you'll know if you are a vampire, and other websites, like the energy-focused one, said that you'll never know if you're really a vampire or not. I learned that there was some big drama in the community between energy vampires and sanguinarians / hybrids. I learned that I learned that some people believe a virus causes vampirism. Some people believe it's genetic, but not a virus. Others believe it's spiritual due to reincarnation. Some people think it's spiritual like a religion and you can join, and other people think it's spiritual through needing energy, life force / prana / chi. So there's many different definitions. I've learned that people can be involved with different kinds of the community. Like Father Sebastian is part of the lifestyling fangsmith stuff, but he also believes that having vampire fangs can help awaken someone to being, like, if they were already a vampire and they get fangs, that might awaken them to being part of the spiritual side of the community, along with the lifestyle side. So I've learned a lot of fun things today. Heck, comment down below if you think I'm a vampire. I'm just curious. But yeah, I'm going to listen back to my audio and make sure I don't, like, cut off the very ending, because that's happened before. And I'll just sit here and listen, and once I hear the ending, I'll end the video. And maybe finally study for my AP exam. Probably not. The fun things today. Heck, comment down below if you think I'm a vampire. I'm just curious. But yeah, I'm going to listen back to my audio and make sure I don't, like, cut off the very ending, because that's happened before. And I'll just sit here and listen, and once I hear the ending, I'll end the video. And maybe finally study for my AP exam. Probably not. The fun things today. Heck, comment down below if you